Hello my dear Aquarius, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between December 1st and December 15, 2017 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. So, I used the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquise and illustrated by Scott Murphy, and I will start shuffling your cards. When I open the deck here, we see the Knight of Pentacles and Knight of Wands. So, wow. Knights means action, and Knight of Pentacles is not that much action. It can sometimes be a person that's very slow with their action. We can compare them to a farmer that put the seeds to the ground but have patience enough to wait several months before having anything coming back from their hard work. The Knight of Wands, on the other hand, is very impatient and rushing very quickly into things, in and out of things, we can say, because he also quickly gets bored by the things he has. So while the Knight of Pentacles might be a person that is slow to cut to the chase, and when you actually are together with this person as a friend or a lover or co-worker or whatever, they are usually very loyal and they are not going anywhere. And if they are too slow, so you will be able to catch up with them. The Knight of Wands is like it's like the bee going from flower to flower, so it's very creative. It kind of moves the world. It moves the world. It's put the world on fire, but it leaves it when it has turned to ashes. And when it's turned to ashes, it's kind of when the Knight of Pentacles gets their fertile ground. So if you want a husband, you want this. And if you want an adventurous girlfriend, then you should have this Knight of Wands. Okay, so it might be that Aquarius is, on the one hand, wants to think things through, wants to be sure. On the other hand, you want to rush in. So it might be like that you're flickering like this. Okay, so I call the divine with love and light. And here we can see someone trying to... This is also typical for the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is earth. And this is fire, so it might be an earth or a fire person or both in your life. Or you might have earth or fire in your chart somewhere, like sun, moon, or rising, or your partner has. So the Four of Pentacles is another attribute with the farmer. He wants to own things. He wants to have things for himself, like this is mine. Okay, he says that about the forest, about the animals, about the meadows, about his house, about his wife and his children. So this is a person that wants to own, and this is more a person that wants to experience. Okay, and be sure. This sometimes can be a person that don't want to share. You can see this. He doesn't want to share. And I call the four archangels in the four corners of the world. And I call the six elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Aquarius viewers. So I want my dear Aquarius to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So we have had 3 nights so far. We also got the Three of Cups, Judgment Day, and the Six of Cups, among others, what I saw. So it seems like the divine has their eyes on you, what you are doing, and wants you to kind of get on the right track, to find out what it is that really matters for you, and work towards those goals instead of ending up with so many different goals. Yes, Ten of Pentacles is like letting the inner richness come to show. We have the Ten of Wands here, Ten of Pentacles, and a Two of Wands. So I think many Aquarius might be very it's like you're hesitating before showing what's really inside of you, what you really want to other people. But I urge you to at least admit this, whatever it is, to yourself. That's not a defeat to kind of love someone that doesn't love you back, to want an occupation that you think that you're never going to have, and etc., etc. So you need to admit to yourself what it is that would be that's inside your heart and inside your soul, and what it is that you really want, because here it's kind of a lot of blockage, and it's building up to a volcano. Okay, so Aquarius like to be like collected. Yes, the Four of Swords, Ten of Swords as well. So it seems like you are on the brink to a situation is ending. It's like it's coming to its conclusion, and you need to figure out what you want to do next. Like, what will be your next move? What will with the old do you want to keep, and what is time to let go of? So Four of Swords is kind of how you want to react. You don't want to react at all. You want to think about things, but this time I think you need to start to make some action. So I also want to take the chance to tell you that Venus is moving from Scorpio to Sagittarius December 2nd, and Mars is moving from Libra to Scorpio December 9. Yes, Six of Wands, Libra, from Libra to Scorpio, Mars. Yes, so it's time to start to you know, show who you really are in front of others. It's like if people really said the things that they saw and the things that they know and the things that they see with other people, like in a kind way, like with win-win situation, we will really get somewhere. I was checking like a documentary about WikiLeaks the other day, and it was an interesting passage where where one of their representative was talking to the Egyptian government that was filling after the revolution, the spring revolution, and it was not only government representative, it was also representative for the different communication companies in Egypt, and they were kind of putting them to the wall about who took the side of the revolutionary, like the revolutionary side in the revolution, because a lot of those telecompanies, they have blocked all internet or Instagram and things like this to prevent the revolution, and now they had to stand up for what they did because people were kind of calling them to what they saw that they actually did, and now they were just like pretending to be amongst the revolutionary to get to the profit that will be made in this new economy. So and they were told upon that. Okay, so there's a lot of problems with different things, but the important thing is to start to tell people what you see. Like, if the nice people are not keeping quiet anymore, the bad people can't get away with stupid things that they do. Page of Swords, overdimensional sword here, really. So it's really about talking the truth that comes from you, like that's unique for you, your unique perspective, even if it risks to be competition or conflict. With the Six of Wands here, we really try to make it in a harmonious way. We try to tell our view of things, but in a harmonious way that wouldn't start too many conflicts, but actually maybe make people feel free. Like, if someone else says the things that you have always thought, finally, and you know that you're not alone. So I think if many nice people started to speak up, you would know that you are not alone. And this is like Mars moving into Scorpio, Mars moving into the like subconscious depths. We are starting to really show what's inside of there. So Mercury is on the cusp of Sagittarius, Capricorn in the start of the month, and stations December 3, and it starts to move retrograde back into Sagittarius, where until it stations again on the 23rd of December. So we will have a December with Mercury in retrograde, and that will be interesting. So it means like going back with your communication and trying to find out what's really the truth once more. Okay, it's like always going back. Oh, that was not really it. So you go back and figure out what was it, who am I, what is it that I want to express. And during Mercury retrograde, we see a lot of problem with communication and travel. So you might need to be out in time if you want to travel for Christmas. Jupiter is moving direct in Scorpio, Saturn is in late degrees of Sagittarius and are moving direct. Pluto is moving direct in Capricorn, and Uranus is moving retrograde in Aries. And the sun, it went into Sagittarius the 22nd of November and will move into Capricorn the 22nd of December. And we will have the super full moon in Gemini December 3rd. New moon will be on the cusp of Sagittarius Capricorn December 18. A lot is going to happen on the cusp, Sagittarius and Capricorn. Midwinter solstice will happen December 21st, 1628 UTC time. The midwinter solstice is the real reason to why we celebrate Christmas. In Sweden it's called Jul, which means wheel. The spring equinox is Easter. The midsummer solstice is also lively celebrated in Sweden with a midsummer pole, a very ancient tradition to fertilize the lands. And then we celebrate Halloween, or in Sweden the Night of All Saints, to replace the fall equinox, but that actually takes place in September. It is all a part of a very, very ancient calendar, which also astrological science is a part of. A turn with the wheel to all the astrological signs is called a great year, and the length of one cycle of the 12 ages is 25,860 years. So we stay approximately 2,155 years in every sign. And we went into the age of Pisces 68 BC, and we will go into the age of Aquarius 2087 AD. It is the stars in the background of the spring equinox that determine in what age we are in. But you see, this is really a big calendar. It's really amazing what the ancient people were able to find out. Like this great year, it's a great cycle. So I think we are going to regain a memory of things that we have really lost track of, but it will come back to us because we are coming out of Kali Yuga, the dark ages, and we'll go into the golden ages. It will take some thousands of years, but we are already like feeling the breeze of this. Okay, so we'll just tune in to your reading for a few seconds. Okay, so my dear Aquarius, this is your future, and this is your now, and this is the past. So here in the past, it's October, November, and we have the magician. So the magician is a person that can take control of his or her own life. It's like taking the control in your hands, deciding what you want to create. It's also very important during this time to have clear thinking, so you're not thinking about something that you don't want to create, because the magician is very creative. It's also connected to Mercury, so you're kind of preparing for the Mercury retrograde, it seems. So the magician is very charming to get their way. So sometimes it can be someone reaching out to try to charm you or to get you into their life. They want to have you in some way or the other. Okay, so magician is very fiery and is very able to create the life that this person wants. So it seems like you have Aquarius, it stands Aquarius there, that you have been able to be very creative. Okay, and this is in your now, and underneath here we have the star card. So you're not only created, you're also guided by the star card, and this is of course your card, Aquarius. And what did I say? We have approximately like yes, we have like 70 years before we go into the age of Aquarius, but we can already feel it. We can already feel it. The age of Aquarius will be maybe a more technological age, but a technological age that might not send out so much garbage. Like we are getting more intelligent, like nature. Every garbage will also be a resource for something else. So it's kind of very highly evolved thinking, like becoming really intelligent. And you see here, one person is having very straight, like through the source, coming back straight to the source, while other people take a little bit detour because they need to fertilize those flowers. So if you think that people are slow and not getting to where you want them to go very easily, it depends that they have other missions too. And it might look like a detour from your end, but it's not like that from a divine point of view. They are not taking a detour. They are doing some important work, and it might take some time for them to do that. And here in the future we have the Six of Wands that also came out when I shuffled. So you remember what I said about that it's very important to create win-win situations, okay, for everyone, to start to tell your truth. And here the first card for you is the King of Wands. So some of you might be involved with a fire sign, but this is a very prominent energy right now. I haven't seen it so much in the other, I haven't seen it at all in the other readings, but a lot when I do the personal readings, that the King of Wands comes. And it's about those leadership qualities. Are you going to use them to build or to destroy? Are you going to use them to manipulate people, or to help them to also grow? And sometimes it's about strength, like a person being very strong and very creative, and forgetting about that they are kind of pulling the whole load, because this is kind of authors. It's people writing the story. So if you, Aquarius, you have a dream, you want to accomplish something, you have this dream, but you can't get like people on board. It's hard to get people on board with your ideas. So it's like you are pulling the whole chariot forward, or the whole project. So it can be a relationship, maybe a family tradition, maybe you want everyone to celebrate Thanksgiving together, for example, but so you are the one pulling the load. You see the vision of this this Thanksgiving, and you are pulling the load to make this happen. Or a relationship where you are taking all the responsibility, or it might be that you are dealing with someone that takes all the responsibility like this. So it can be very easy to forget to let other people learn too, you know, the ones that are a little bit more slow and needs to like do the detour. Sometimes even if we have the great we see the great visions, but we notice that other people are slow and they are not really with us. Sometimes we need to let the project down. Not forever maybe, but just let it down and see if other people will catch up. Because sometimes with this energy you will be over functioning. You will do too many things. You are the author and you see like million years into the future, or you're already married to the guy that you met yesterday, and that person cannot keep up with you. And then it's sometimes advised to pull back a little bit and to see what happens, because we can, when we are creators like this, we can control many things. And for example, on your workplace, you might be a really like a big asset, and when it comes to, you know, writing a book or doing a project at home, you will be really good at that. But as soon as other people are involved, you need to keep it in their pace, so you they will be able to catch up with you and not feel so slow, or like it can easily start to make resistance inside of them if you try to drag them along on something they don't want. But usually this is fire, so it's kind of not your thing, Aquarius. You are air, and fire and air together becomes very explosive, and it's like very rushing energy. It's like being a racehorse in a start box. So try to see to that you don't use all the energy up right in the start box before anything is like anyone is really on board with you, and also try to not be too hasty with things. Have a little bit more patience maybe. This might be a person in your life as well. Here we have the Queen of Cups, and I have learned, it has been in all the other readings, so I learned this is the Scorpio energy. So usually this is, for me it's Cancer, but this is obviously Scorpio energy. King of Cups is, for me, is Scorpio. So King of Wands together with Queen of Cups, it might be that this is people in your life, actual people, like a fire person, usually Leo, a water person, it's Scorpio in this case. But mostly I'm thinking that it's about using your creativity, and you're diving deep into your emotions, because they need to be in tune. If you don't have your emotions with you, you know, the gut feeling that makes things like either feel awful or happy. So if you don't have that with you, you will not be able to create anything. It's also about having the more sensitive people with you. You can't rule them by saying like this and this is how you need to do this. You need to get them on board with the feeling of it all. Like they need to feel that this is the right thing to do. You can't force them by logic, for example. So interesting. So it might be like, it doesn't have to be a male. It can easily be a female fire and a male water. You don't have to hang up on the sex. It's more like fire or males, kings, they are like pointing towards something. While the Queen of Cups or the Queens, they are already having something that they share. It's like an energy sitting on this chair and giving away things, while this person is sitting on the chair and planning on things that they want to get, or goals they want to reach. But the Queen, she's like nature. She already has the resources, so she can either keep them or give them away. It's like that, or someone will steal them from her maybe. Because here we have the Eight of Cups. So Eight of Cups is like you have given a lot to a lot of people, but they didn't give it like anything in return. It's like you feel like this empty barrel. It's nothing left. It's nothing, no more wine in the glasses here, not even water. And so it's like this racehorse energy has burned itself out in the starting box, because you didn't get people along with you, and they just dragged you down. It's like you were trying to build up something, and they were pulling you down. But it's for a reason. It's not just to mess with you. It's probably because what I said, that they need to be on board with what it is. So you need to start tell them, like with the magician, it's communication. You can't just look at people and say, oh, they are so stupid, they don't understand. Because if you are eons of like ahead of them, of course they won't understand. And it's not their fault, because they needed to take the detour because the divine told them to. It's how they have been guided. But now maybe they need to keep up with you. Maybe they need to speed up with you, and you need to wait patiently until they get to where you are, and also help them with communication. But here with Eight of Cups, it's probably that you are going to get tired of a situation and just leave, because your energy is out. It's dried out. Yes, and here we have the Hangman, and this Hangman card is amazing, because the person is hanging right. You see, they are hanging from the tree. They are not hanging upside down, but actually the tree, the crown of the tree is here, and the roots are here. So it's actually hanging like against gravity. That's really amazing. Okay, it's amazing. Like it makes tricks with your mind. And you can see the runes here. The runes, Odin hanged like upside down in 1 foot in the tree like this for 9 days, and he got the knowledge of the runes. It's like it was downloaded into him. Before they had only the notion of the sound, but in this state he was able to put symbols on each note, or on each sound, like each sound that you make when you speak. So it's like evolution. It's like it's like a hen lying on some eggs, and it takes some time, but eventually it will be born chickens. Okay, so if something is being like slow, it's not happening, and you are frustrated with people not like getting it, and you leave them with frustration, it's probably because they need to get where you are. There needs to be a certain amount of evolution. And often this kind of evolution comes with a lot of pain. If you have seen, I don't remember what video that were, but in some video I did, it was probably the School of Tarot, where I did a video that was talking about a dream I had, where I was part of a very evolved culture, but we didn't have like technology. We had magic. like this. We were the magicians, so we can heal trees, and we could heal the grid of the earth, the magnetic field. It was technologic, but in another way. It was like in tune with nature. But it came like a technological people and landed, and they put us all in Iron Maidens, and we were of course all dead. And that is a situation like where I gave up, and I didn't want to come out of the Iron Maiden for maybe 1,000 years. I felt like we had it all. Why did it have to be ruined? We were happy, everything were great. Okay, why did they came? I was just I had enough, like the 8 of Cups here. I had enough, and I didn't want to come out from the Iron Maiden. So you can say I was a ghost inside that Iron Maiden for many hundreds of years at least. But what I have learned now is that these people with the technology, they came because they needed to learn from us, like learn to have this open heart, to be able to heal with nature, like this. Also the King of Wands can be in this group. We were actually having, like, it was very Celtic. It was like trees around, and we had this altar in the middle. They burned our trees, and they hanged us in each of those trees in an Iron Maiden. So I learned now that these technological people, they needed to learn from us to be able to also come in tune with this magic. So we will come back to that. It will take some turns of time, but we will come back to that. We will have to be in the golden age, because then gravity will be very different, because we will probably circle very close to another star, probably Sirius A and Sirius B from where I stand. But also we needed to be able to defend ourselves. We only had like bows and arrows and things. So we are going to learn to defend ourselves, and they are going to learn to have an open heart. And Aquarius, unfortunately enough, you are probably a part of the technological people that came and that burned everything. Okay, and it's because they were probably fallen angels that were supposed to incarnate on earth, and they came like this. But it's not saying that you are evil and technological, because you have lived many thousands of years on earth, probably more than 12,000 years on earth since then, and you have learned a lot of things. So you're not only Aquarius, and you can see this in your chart. Aquarius is very intelligent, it's very technological, but it's also very uplifted energy, like angels. Okay, and you can have like moon somewhere else. I have actually Aquarius moon and you can have your rising somewhere else, and that will make the big picture of you, like all the experience that you have made since you came, like these fallen angels. And now many of you are as frustrated as I were, because you are stomping like, why do we have to wait? Why do we have to do this all over again? Because other people needs to learn. We can't like ascend like singulars. We need to ascend like a group, like the whole earth. It's not going to be just 144,000 people. It's going to be everyone. Okay, we are not making any exceptions, so everyone is going to come with us. That's the hope. So we need to wait, okay, for them to evolve or to come out of their Iron Maidens maybe. Okay, and yes, here we have Justice. You see 12, the Hangman, and Justice. So now you have to wait on maybe the other people, as they have waited for you to get this heart of yours, the Queen of Cups, and now you have to wait for them to get the intelligence, okay, to get the technological know-how, and to also be able to see things from an above, like an angel perspective. And this is Libra. The Hangman is kind of connected to Uranus or Neptune, like a spiritual awakening. So spiritual awakening, but it's also talking about really heavy karma here. So it's like, if you feel like people are stupid, don't don't worry so much about that. Try to take a 10 deep breath and calm down, because they thought the same about you once. Okay, so you're just, it's like paying back right now. And justice is talking about that this need to be balance also, very important that it needs to be balanced. So if you have been the one doing everything like this, being so super creative, those two cards together is like the magician, and you're tired now. So it's okay, just let go, just sacrifice whatever you built on and let it go, because it seems like someone else needs to take on where you left it, okay? Someone else needs to do also their fair share of work, because you're not supposed to be the author alone, like writing the whole future alone. You need people that goes with you on this journey, so wait for them. It's like Khalil Gibran, the prophet, has a very amazing this amazing book that calls The Prophet, and I don't know exactly in which part, but he's saying that I see you all walking on this path towards enlightenment, and some of you are kind of trolls and others are more close to your godlike self. And those that are more close to their godlike self, they need to take away the stones and the sticks that are away for the other persons that are a little bit more slow, the trolls and the goblins that come after you. So they will also be able to ascend and become like godlike creatures or godlike men. So this is your mission. It's not just to, you know, take your spaceship and be out of here again, but actually make a little bit of a payback. To people that needs your help now. And it seems like they need your help while you kind of not doing all the stuff for them anymore. You let it go and you let them try for themselves. It's like not giving them fish, but teach them how to fish, okay? So I hope you get the thing that I'm trying to tell you. And it can be from different side. This might be like another person being totally frustrated with you because you don't get it, and you need to go through the hangman and evolve, so you will get it and you will take your fair share of the responsibility. So it might be like that as well, because sometimes the magician is a person not taking responsibility. They just try to charm and trick themselves through a relationship or a workplace situation or whatever. But here it's kind of those cards, it's like the spirits, the divine saying like, well, this is not going to work anymore. Everyone needs to do their fair share, because if it's like this, when we meet other people, it's like they are one culture and we are the other culture. And we rub off on each other. So the space invaders and the druids, they kind of, yes, they had this battle going on. And eventually the space people, they learned from the druids a lot of things, and the druids learn a lot from the space invaders, okay? So it's like they were druid once, but they also became space invaders, and these one were space invaders, but now they are also druids, okay? And that makes like one person, one population was 100% themselves, like this culture, and this was 100% themselves, like two separate cultures, but now they are like 200%. It's like you have gotten the experience, and then that made you expand. It made your soul expand. It made you greater, okay? And it's also this with since that time when you landed, it might have been 12,000 years ago, it might have been 400,000 years ago or longer, I don't remember, but when you since then, at least it was 12,000 years ago, after that we went deeper and deeper and deeper into the dark ages, so everyone forgot their knowledge, okay? But that was a good time anyway, because then it was more easy for us to come together as one population, okay, instead of these divided populations. So one population. Now we have become global, and now when we are coming out of the dark ages, we are going to gain our memory, and we are going to get back the knowledge of the druids and of the space invaders. Okay, so that is something to look forward to. So you might it doesn't matter so much if you have a little bit of patience now. It's going to be amazing once we are up and running again. Okay, so here you have the now, and I have forgotten what you had in the bottom of this deck. Yes, okay, it was the star card, and here you have 9 of Cups. So it's time for Aquarius to start to dream the new future. Since you are the authors and all, So start to imagine what kind of future you want to live in, instead of like being negative and thinking about what you don't want, like war against terrorism, war against nuclear arms, war against. You can't have war against something. Everything you resist persists. And I think people that made the war against, they knew this and they wanted it to persist, because as long as we are in misery, they can control us. But when we are not in misery anymore, we are in this state and we see the future that we want, not the future that we hate, but the future that we want. If you can imagine, like, think if you were the dictator of the world and you had a saying in everything, how would the world look like? For me, it will probably be like a little bit more ancient. We would probably not go by cars, but probably by horses, and you could put horses outside a grocery store. That would be something I would dream about. And like a more slow life, maybe where we are more in tune with nature. I don't want to go back totally to, yes, I want to. But if you, Aquarius, can come with something where we can be still technological but still live in tune with nature, I'm on. But you need to dream that forth for me, okay? So see this vision, what it is that you want. You're in a wonderful, wonderful position of creating whatever you want to see in your future. You had the King of Wands here and the Nine of Cups, so a lot of energy and the divine being on your side, like the Gemini saying, okay, what do you wish for? And you don't have 3 wishes, you don't have 9 wishes, you have endlessly wishes. Whatever you think, become the house you live in. So start thinking good thoughts about what it is that you want to see in your life, not thinking again and again about that hopeless boyfriend or that hopeless wife or the hopeless boss or whatever. Try to think about the boss you do want, the boyfriend you do want, the wife that you do want, and the future that you want to have together with them instead. So that will make it's like you have this beautiful platform here from which you can create whatever. And here we have the Four of Swords. So it might be that you need to wait for some persons. Either this is you starting to download your heart, because the Four of Swords is like a situation where we need to be in stillness because we kind of need to download something, a new skill. It's much like the Hangman, but it's more sad and alone, to be honest. It's like when God wants to speak with you, she takes away all the people around you, so you will be alone and you will feel miserable and hate your life. But really, it's just that the divine wants to have a word with you. So the Four of Swords is like when you download something new, and I think here you're downloading this Scorpio notion, because Aquarius wants to be very sharp-minded and intelligent, but the most, like 80% of your intelligence is in the Scorpio realm, like in the ocean of the subconscious. It's your hard drive. You can't keep all on your hard drive, like up in your awakened memory. So you need to be able to access your emotions to be able to get the knowledge of the old. You need to be able to talk emotion, okay? So this time, maybe there's not going to be more, you know, tones of music that we are going to find out and set small symbols to. It might be this time we are going to put words to our emotions. We are going to learn how to talk with our emotions. And eventually, maybe we are going to be able to talk with our body. Like our body is going to tell us, it knows already, you are going to have a heart attack. It knows this, but we don't get it into our awakened mind. But eventually, with this Scorpio notion, we will be able to, I'm sure of it. So, first and foremost, you can't really control that part, but what you can control is to not run away from your emotions anymore. Here, this person stays with them and just meditates on them and kind of being a little bit in despair. I'm feeling this. And the wolves, the divine masculine, is kind of waiting and saying, when will you be done with this so we can move on? But you will be done when you are done. We see they has a light in their shoe. Oh, so it's a person trying to figure things out and just lying like this, either like this or in fetal position or in meditation, sitting in meditation like easy pose or whatever works for you. 10 minutes a day, just feeling your feelings. 10 minutes a day, just visioning your future. And you will change the world by this. it's actually very, very powerful. So you are downloading your heart, it seems, here for me. And here in the middle we have the 5 of Wands, and it comes together with the 8 of Cups. So this might be your like your sense of self-preservance. You want to flee the situation because it has become too much for you. But it's other parts of you that wants you to stay and fix this. Need to give those slow people a chance. So you might feel very conflicted. It's the central card. So you will feel like running away, coming back, running away, coming back, running away, coming back. So all those wands, it's the 5 of Wands, so it's connected to the story which I told you about, this 5 of Wands. It's connected to the Alchemist card. Like when you meet your shadow, you meet something else. It's actually why we are here. We are here to experience more and more. It's like the gods, small drops of the divine. We are all small drops of divine, and we are expanding like this. It's like we are all the Big Bang, and we are expanding, and we are learning more and more, and we are becoming more and more because of it. So this is what will happen. We will expand, the universe will expand, and eventually it will go back into one singular point, and we will be God again. We will be part of the oneness, okay? And then we will start all over. And you can calculate this mathematically, like the flower of life. Check this, the video, Sacred Geometry. They are talking really fast, and it's cartoons, but it's amazing. And this is what you do. Right now you're rubbing off on some different culture, and this different culture, it's like it can be the person across the street. They were growing up in a different environment to you. Even if this is a person in your own family, they have their own perception and their own way of speaking about things. So we really need to get to know ourselves to be able to also tell others who we are. Like, this is how I feel, this is what I see, this is what I want. And the other person needs to do so too. And then there's conflict, because you will want different things, but eventually you will become like this. When you have learned from each other and learned to see the different viewpoints. So amazing discussions may be on Aquarius list this month. And here you have a Queen of Wands, and it comes underneath the Hangman. So since I am a Leo, I kind of, feel this. The Queen of Wands, like the one that has been hanging. For me, it's not Jesus that has been hanging on the cross like the divine masculine. It's more the divine feminine for the last 2,000 years at least, maybe even longer, doing the deep shadows of the patriarchy. The patriarchy is like the male shadow. It's not at all what males are. They are something else. They are more like the Jesus quality, or like these beautiful wolves. Okay, so very good on socializing, also hunting in pack, or taking really good care of each other. It's one of the most social animals, and protecting each other like to the death, loyalty to the death. So it's very, but they also have this pecking order. We can see this here. So it's kind of a little bit masculine energy here with the wolves and the pecking order, trying to get like with the pecking order. This energy here, 12, it's connected to the Empress. 1 plus 3 is 3. 1 plus 2 is 3, sorry. It's the Empress energy. And here you have the Queen of Wands. It's the mate to the King of Wands. So this might be you. And that you have a soulmate out there. It's probably like this, and maybe they are a little bit slow, okay, hanging here, not wanting to come out from the Iron Maiden. Even if it sucks being there, it's better than to ever have a future, because it seems hopeless. I think here someone has been losing hope a little bit, and it's good in one point, because it's going to take them down to the dark night of the soul. And with the dark night of the soul, you let go of things. With the Hangman, when you hang upside down, you also let go of things. It's like when things start to fall out of your pocket. So you start to sacrifice things. And when you start to sacrifice things, it's like you die before you die. You don't have to hold on to things anymore. Even if you love your children like to the death, when they are grown up and 18 and wants to move away from home, you will be able to let them go and they bye-bye. Maybe they even need to be angry with you for 2 years to go into the hermit mode and create their own culture. So, and you accept that because you have gone through this. You are able to sacrifice. You have died before you died. Nothing is like, you're not trying to control things anymore and to hold them and to make them do whatever it is that you want. You just let go and you let whatever is be. And that is an amazing quality to become like a happy person. Because if you don't worry, you will be happy, okay? And here we have, oh, the Five of Pentacles. So it seems like you have, you might have a fire person in your life or another air person in your life, or this is you, feeling very left out in the cold. By the situation that's going on here. I have mostly been rambling about the spiritual side of this because it's you, Aquarius. You inspire me with your spirituality. But here I think it's a relationship going a little bit south. Maybe it's a three-party relationship even, and maybe a person needs to make a choice on either to stay or to go. And here it's a lot of things talking about going and releasing, like the Hangman and the Eight of Cups and the Five of Pentacles. If you don't feel loved, you will leave, because it needs to be justice. You are not going to be the only one that's in love in this relationship, or you are not the only one that's going to keep the tradition or do all the work at your workplace. So you feel like people are not appreciating you. It's the Five, so it's Taurus. It's like being a part of this pack, actually, because if you're not following their rules, they will bite you in the neck and they will push you out in the cold. And so that's another part with the Divine Masculine. It has like rules for who are with us and who are against us, and it's what's making the cultures. Because with women it's like, so almost every child is my child, but for males it's usually so that my children and your children. So it's like dividing. I don't know why it's like that, but it's like that with the Fives. The High Priest, that when you are having this strong connection, you also have a strong disconnection from what you are identifying. So like, that is not a part of me. So this might be like you are not letting in like your partner in your family life, for example, or they are not letting you in, or you are being excluded from the workplace social thingy because you are different from them. You don't talk their language. Okay. So here we have your future, and it's the Six of Wands. So it's making the Five of Wands into the Six of Wands, what I told you when I shuffled the cards. And here we have the World card, and it comes underneath the King of Wands, the Nine of Cups. So for some of you, you are like on the highest path towards your highest destiny, or you have a fire person in your life that's like your soulmate, okay? Because this card tells you that you are in the relationship you are supposed to be, and the 21 world is like great connection to eons of time. But it's also an ending. We saw that with all the tens that came out and when I shuffled, that you are in an end time, and what you want to keep after this end time is kind of up to you, but it's a time of great release. You have 21 and 12, so a lot of things is going to be let go of, because you are going to start kind of a whole new life, a whole new chapter on your life. And here we have one of the tens that came when I shuffled, and it's talking about this with carrying a lot of loads, taking a lot of responsibility, being the author that, you know, you see the vision and you work towards that, but you're totally alone. Where is the other people like picking up this, what you have dropped? And you have this Raven there that kind of warns you about this, that it's something also with your emotions that's building up. It might be that you have a hard time expressing your emotions, because this is a lot of emotions, and this is silent treatment, and this is like a person holding back their natural behavior and stopping themselves from, you know, speaking out what they really have inside their heart. So it might be that some of you are loving someone, but you are using silent treatment towards them, maybe because they didn't help you, or maybe because you want to keep your power. It depends on which side of the magician you are on, the black side or the white side. You have the black and the white pillar here as well. It's like the farmer and the swords person. So this is kind of the druids and the space invaders. So you are the dark people, Aquarius, but you're actually not. It's the contradictions in everything. You were the angels, but you came down as invaders. So that is like, it's so far off, but it's how we learn from so many different sides. It's like the chariot, to have been everything, to have lived everything, to have been the warrior, but also the victim of the warrior, to have been the mother, but also the child, and seeing things from many different perspectives, to be the refugee, and also be the one that hates refugees. So I think a lot of those nationalists that hates refugees will become one in their next life. And here we have the Two of Pentacles, so it seems like it's very unbalanced here. And you see, if you would step on that that wood when you are carrying this load and you don't see anything, you will fall and you will lose like everything that you're trying to keep in the air. So it's something, I think that for many of you it will be that you are trying to keep a certain like you want to show a certain face to the outside, and I think you need to sacrifice this face because it's not the true face. Maybe it's even like you always know everything, and here you are a beginner because you have done something to the fullest, and now you are kind of beginning here on something new, and it's baby steps. So you might need to admit that you don't have the full control, and you might admit that you need help from others, like put down the work and say, okay, we'll continue when someone helps me. Or it might also be that you are trying to keep up a tough exterior towards someone which you currently have a conflict with, but it's going to, it's like the divine is putting a trap to you here, and if you are trying this, it's an ego thing, and if you're trying this, you're going to fall. And it might be the same if this is another person, that if you are with a person that's very egocentric, they will probably fall. Because it's judgment here, justice, 2, 11, 1 plus 1 is 2, and you have 2 here as well. So someone is going to hit with karma. It's like instant karma here. So you know on which side you are. I don't have to tell you. And here we have the darn Hierophant. Okay, so there's good things with the Hierophant. It's beautiful things. Think about Buddha. That's also the Hierophant. Okay, think about all the Ascended Masters. That's also the Hierophant. Okay, but here's the Western Hierophant, and it's like a business leader sitting in a tower somewhere and dictating your life. So this is the true rulers right now. This is the true power center, but just in the human world, not in the divine world. So when you start to, you know, show your true face, instead of trying to be one in, like, being a part of that wolf pack, and having your exterior on, your face on, so you will be admitted and you will be one of them. When you are no longer that, you kind of become the hermit and you do your own thing, then this power structure will crumble, because this culture is just as strong as its members. And when the members start to, well, I do my own thing now, well, there won't be any like this big corporation owning half of the world anymore, because you won't give them any more money. You don't buy products from Monsanto anymore, and you don't fly with the aircrafts that pollutes the air or whatever, and then they will be the rulers of no one, and you will be the rulers of yourself. And we see here she has hidden the moon behind her back. She has hidden her emotions behind her back, like she's so fed up with this darn high priest here. And this one, he has hidden his tail. So it's the strength, like being a demon, or like the horned creatures, Taurus, Capricorn, also Aries. Like they have this strength of the nature, stamina, stubbornness. So when you show your true self, also the bad parts of you, like being over dramatic or angry even, or when you start to show your feelings, like I don't care if I cry, that is when this square kingdom will fall. Okay, the last card is the Ten of Swords. So I urge you to not be a part of the kingdom that wants to rule or have power, because this kingdom's days are counted. The Ten of Swords is over. People are not going to, it's like illusions are falling. And if you treat a person like an outsider, they are just going to leave. They are not going to stay. And here's the shepherd, shepherd, German shepherd, I think it's the name, and it's very much like the wolves here. For me, it seems like justice will prevail, and if you have treated someone badly, or someone treated you badly and put you out in the cold, it's going to be worse for them in the end. They have lost a lot of things due to this, and they will also lose their face in the process, okay? The face that they have put on to keep power over you. And if you have been a person keeping power over others, this will be the end of this, because your mask will fall, is what I'm seeing. Okay, so, we have this card here, and we see this is a temptress. It's like the magician here. It's like a person being very charming, but actually being very dangerous, and can take you into a trap. Okay, so be very careful. If a person, you know, if you are together with, maybe you are interested with a person, like a player kind of person, like one of those F boys or maybe F girls, and you feel the pull towards this. You know, the game, when you meet a person, there's a certain game that you need to play to get the other one interested. It's like a game that the birds do, like the dance that the male bird do to get the female interested. So being like acting like a player in that, when you are meeting someone, might be fully okay to start a certain biological process inside the female to make her interested. And it's the same with the girl, maybe acting like a person that's not really interested, even if she are. But when you actually have come this far, that even when one person is showing that they are not interested in a committed love relationship, and the other person act like they don't care, and if you, despite of this breeding ritual, you came close and you felt love, then all those previous games need to go. They need to be gone with the wind, like this, and people need to commit, and they need to show what's truly inside of them. They need to show their vulnerability, and as soon as someone take them for granted, then they can start the game again, to just make the other one capitulate and come back to this union again, okay, to be unified. Because in love, they are not supposed to be like power, one having power over others because I love you less than you love me. That's wrong, okay? If you feel like this, leave the person. If you feel like you love a person that doesn't love you back, leave the person. So I think a lot of people are going to leave the person that still acts with a game, instead of like showing vulnerability in a love relationship. Okay, and I will also take a card from the Vibrational Energy Oracle cards, and we have Smell the Roses. It actually came 2 cards for you, Moonbeam Filled Waterfalls. So I think this card is about like feeling the pain, like here. If you feel the pain, it will be a lot of answers will be there. It's like the moon behind her back. It has a lot of answers. You will get the knowledge about yourself when you start to feel the pain, when you start to be in that, and really like take some time out and just be with yourself. Even if it's sad, it's also beautiful with this pain. And it's like your book, the book of you, the book to your all the vast experience and knowledge that you have in your oceans. So when you do this, when you stay, when you don't run away from your pain anymore, but you just stay with it, maybe like this, you just stay with it, and acknowledge, okay, this person didn't love me enough, so I didn't feel loved, and I have to leave this situation. That is actually the moment when you wake up. Okay, you were trapped in an illusion before, a lot of hope that you had, but it was keeping you trapped in a situation with a person that might not have loved you at all. And when you're waking up, that is actually a beautiful moment. That will be very sad, but it will give you the strength to create a much more better tomorrow. And with Smell the Roses, it's like starting to be in your body all the time. And when you take a glass of water, you feel the taste in your mouth. When you peel the orange, you feel the smell of the orange, and you feel the sticky feeling when you peel off the shell, and you feel the taste of that first orange in your mouth. Start to be living more here and now. Forget all about masks and protections and who you should be. Just be yourself here and now. And if you are bored, if you feel like you are going to blow, well, maybe then you need to go out and take a walk or run, but try to be as much in yourself as possible. This will heal you tremendously, and it will just make you wave bye-bye to all these old conflicts and all these old power games and all these old masks. Okay, it was a really long reading for you today, Aquarius. But for those who were standing with me here to the end, I say kudos to you. And well, I hope you will be back to listen to my next mid-month reading that will come in the beginning of December. Thank you so much for watching, and take really good care. Bye-bye.